Hello everyone. I hope traders and investors alike are green today. Another great day in the market. Let's just get straight to the charts. So AMC got this head and shoulders. It's definitely not textbook. The symmetry's not right. But if we lose this support, let's see how it plays out. We are testing it now. Our put to call ratio. This has not updated. Bearish, and there's a good chance we're going to be in the bearish zone, but that has not updated for the day. The oscillators, we are at 363 on the NASDAQ, so we're getting very hot down here where we usually see a bounce. And for the New York Stock Exchange, we're at 303, same thing. We're usually looking for some kind of upward bounce. It's just a flag back up for the next move down. But when we get that oversold, we're usually looking for a bounce. Well, this bear flag we drew last week and pretty much broke out of last week is working. Next candle opened up, pulling back. MACD's trying to roll over there. It's the S&P 500 weekly. Dollar still showing some strength. VIX still struggling here to break up out of this area. It's grinding up, but it's not. It's almost like the VIX is broken. You can see the 15-day or the 15-minute here. You can see the downtrend. Crude's still struggling too down here under this 9. A lot of wicks going on there. You can see there's some big battles going on there. It's a lot of FUD. Apple talked about this piercing candle this morning and with the Discord. We got a nice move down on it. It did recover, closed with a doji, but we definitely got to move down off of that candle. AMD, this was a textbook move yesterday. We pushed back into the 9, snatched back with a pin bar, next move down. Just textbook. A firm here trading in this little tight wedge, breaking below support. If we open up below the support and below the support level in the morning, I would expect more downside. MACD looks like it's trying to roll. Not a lot of momentum there. RSI is down here on the bottom, the 31 area, getting very close to the 30. You can see a firm's 15-minute chart. Downtrend today, didn't even recover at the end of the day. Amazon's 15-minute chart, pretty flat, did push up at the end of the day a little bit. When Yellen started speaking, the market, she actually was able to move the market a little bit. AMC coming down here, kind of putting in a rounding bottom here. Not much recovery at the end of the day on that one either. A lot of days we see them come in and chase them, try to run some shorts out at the end of the day. You can see this is AMD's 15-minute chart. You can see big volume today selling. We've been bearish on semis the whole year, and it's one of the better calls we've made this year. We've made some really good calls, but being bearish on the semis has been a great call. Wish I would have had leaks on all of them. I don't trade like that, so, but it would have been a money-making opportunity for some money that's just sitting idle. Amazon moved down, breaking out of a tight little flag here. Like to have seen the 9 got closer, but you can see your moving averages rolling down, following the price action down. They're letting you know the direction of your trend. Apple, they're also lagging to price action. That's why we trade off price action signals. Indicators are great. They help us in a lot of ways, but we trade on price action signals. You can see Apple here pull back and had a decent recovery here at the end of the day. Brought it right back up to the where the market opened to the market opening. That's why we see the doji candle that we see. Boeing, this rounded top is working great. We talked about this, probably going to flag back up into resistance if we redrew this line. Basically right onto your 9 textbook move. Next candle opening up to the downside. Breaking out of a flag there. Bitcoin struggling right on this support level. Really struggling to hold that support on that weekly chart. A decent up candle today though. Pushed up at the end of the day. Boeing, big pullback here. at market open and then just chop the rest of the day. That would have chewed you up if you tried to sit in that. Definitely premium burn there. Chewy, the second rounded top with the support level. We have broken below that. We've talked about that. XLP, this bear flag. I tried to get the video out last night and just too many interruptions. I drew this bear flag last night and we broke to the downside. Crowd, we've been talking about this rounded top here. I would have preferred to see it bounce back into the 9 and come down, but if we broke below the support level, patterns are working. CVX still chopping around. Trying to hold the 50 there though. CVX on the 15-minute, you can see a very choppy day. That would have chewed you up if you were trying to sit in options on that thing. All right, DraftKings. I had a pattern. I had the same pattern. I talked about this today. I'm going to talk about plug when we get to that chart. And I talked about this live today, during the live sessions. But DraftKings here has the actual 1, 2, 3 reversal. So basically you have, pushed up. This is, we're looking for the stock to move down. So we pushed up here and put in a high, come down, put a low. We put in a lower high here. So breaking below this level would be your entry point. They would say normally if you're trading shares, I would not recommend this with options, but if you're trading shares, they say set your stop loss back at your original area. But to me, that's too much for options. You choose your stop loss with your risk management plan. Please don't set an option stop loss that far away. You can lose a ton of money that way, and it's just unnecessary. But this is the 1, 2, 3 reversal. 1, so you had a high, come down, put in a low, and instead of pushing up to put in a higher high, you put in a lower high. So this would mean your next move is going to be to the downside. And I had one I wanted to point out last night and on plug, and it made that move today. ENPH, we broke down. We were starting to watch this MACD. It looked like they wanted to cross. Broke down, tested this 50. See how we hold here? You can see we've tested the 50. Well, to be fair, this was a 50 and 200 here, and we were able to respect it. See if we can respect this. A lot of bearishness coming into this market, and they're going to be looking for stocks like this that have moved up to pull them back as well. I didn't put the price labels here, but ExxonMobil traded better today than CVX, but you can see we had a move down, chopped around, and then made a move down at the end of the day. And one thing I tell the Discord is when we're chopping is what's happening is they're putting in some kind of a base, whether it be, part of building a pattern. All patterns are actually bases, like a cup and handle is actually considered a base, but they're building a base, and when they're looking, eventually, so I try to keep everybody calm and tell them not to over trade into that, because when they get done building that base, there's usually a nice move one way or the other. We never know the direction. I don't care whoever tells you what, we never know the actual direction of the market. The best we can do is, use technicals, and it gives us a pretty good idea. But this is why we don't trade with I think I can, and we trade with technicals. FSLR trying to break down here. It's still holding a 20. MACD's bearish. RSI is cooling off. Stock still showing relative strength in this market though. GME, we were wedging up in here. We broke out of this yesterday with a nice move down. Yesterday we actually pushed back up. That was a textbook move. Went back in, tested your moving averages, snatched down, put in a pin bar. Today's candle opened up to the downside. So why this candle is so important? This candle opened up and pushed up. So the bulls took back control when this candle opened up. Then the bears come back in. You can see that's where the candle opened right there. And at one time, this was a green candle. And the bulls come in, took control. The bears come back in and brought, they sold and brought this candle back down. Actually took it below the previous day's open. And today, the sign of strength to the downside continued with a big Marabuzo candle. I have a hard time saying that. Google, break to the downside. We've been looking, I've been talking all week here, even before that, honestly, to pretty bearish on Google. It's not been trading as strong as the market, and we've been looking there this week for shorts. The Qs just had a textbook move. We come down. This flagged back up into your 9 right here. You can see touched the 9 and then snatched down yesterday. So the bulls took control, took it up to the 9. The bears come back in on the meeting. They were selling the market, come down. You had a big strong candle today. You had followed through to the downside. I've got to be honest. We trade the action and don't let our opinions get in our way. But today, I really didn't know if we were going to see downside or not, because in the past, we have these meetings and we'll get the perfect setup. A lot of times it's bullish, and I never hold overnight. It's just not my style of trading. But I know people who do, who constantly get burned up. The market was not holding the setups, and today we got follow through. So it worked out pretty good today. You can see the Qs here. We sold off at open, then chopped. Then when Yellen started talking, we ended up pushing up. You can see we pulled back here right at the very end of the day, but got a nice move up, and we had that on our radar. Our new squawks helped us out with it, with those trading. Those trades, we knew why the market was pushing, and that's a big help, just understanding and knowing what's going on and not even having to search for it. We know what's happening normally, and or usually we know what's happening. There's times that the news is late, but most of the time we know why the market's moving when an event like that happens. Qs, just like that SPX flag, I didn't want to draw up all the charts, but we had this bear flag we broke out of last week. Strong candle. This week we're getting more move to the downside. That's the weekly chart. A TLT, the bonds had a big move, had a decent move yesterday, was strong yesterday, and today even bearish volume coming into it today. They sold it. IWM weekly breaking below your last 200, your last line of defense here. I'm watching to see if we do move below. Obviously, we're all watching to see if we take out the previous lows. If we do, watch the levels of support we have marked here: 160.30 and 153.83. If we take out the previous low, you can see we actually tested that in June. Yeah, the beginning of June. IWM here, big strong candle yesterday, same setup. Bulls come back in, bought that. They bought the market up yesterday. The bears come back in, took control. Just letting you know there was a strong battle there. The bears won that battle today, opened up, and with follow through. MACD bearish. You can see the IWM here. We did not get a much of a recovery at the end of the day. Big sell off and then a lot of chop. Mara got a nice flag down here. We've tested the resistance level. This 9 and 20 is coming down together, so that's a good sign for resistance. I would prefer more push up. This is one of the only stocks that I do hold. I hold some shares of it. So I never want to see more go down. I never really want to see crypto or anything go down. But there's money making opportunities, and I don't let my opinion get in the way of making money. We got a nice bear flag here, retesting our previous support, which is now resistance. Looking for a move down on this. If the market does push down, like I say, our oscillators are saying that we could need a bounce to cool off, or we should be receiving a bounce very soon to cool off. We are in to the 300. NASDAQ is well into the 300 range. And usually when we get down here, we get a bounce back up. And like I say, it doesn't take either. They can chop it to cool it off. We can just chop sideways to cool the oscillators off too. But it doesn't take. We get a decent bounce and they'll cool off quick. It doesn't take a huge move. I'm not talking about a move back up to all new highs. Just maybe get us closer to, try to flag up to the 9 a little bit, get us a little closer for the move. Meta, we've been calling for new 52-week lows here, and that's exactly what we've been getting. Meta 15-minute chart did provide some opportunities in there, though. Push up, you can see this was a kind of a sell the pop type of day. So every time it pushed up, instead of trying to chase the longs, that's when you're looking to go short, because you pretty good chance it's coming back down. That's just the way we were trading today, and I actually made some money by changing the way that I was looking at things, where normally I would go after them strong candles for scalps. I was setting up ready to go short off of them instead of going long on them like I normally would. That's just being open-minded and willing to change. And I noticed that I needed to tweak just for today. I needed to tweak things a little bit. I did what I had to do, went in and started making money. MU got this rounded top here working. Microsoft tried to push up today. Was one of the stronger stocks for quite a bit of the day, but you can see this move here, push back up towards the 9. Bulls were in control. Bears come back in, brought the market down yesterday. But Microsoft was fairly strong today, grinding up where a lot of other stocks didn't. You can see it was in an uptrend all day, and at the end of the day, it pushed nicely. But we've pulled back here. Microsoft weekly, we are below this support level, which is now resistance. Previous support is now resistance. Moderna, we had this diamond. It's called a diamond bottom. Was curious if this would actually break to the upside, because they've been coming after big pharma. So I really thought that we would break out of this diamond to the upside, and we ended up breaking to the downside, which is absolutely fine. We have a plan A, plan B, just the way we trade. Nice move here. Small doji, so wasn't much in the action today. Just you could tell usually when you see that there's a lot of indecision, or it just a straight up big battle. MRO, you can see this line is valid. It does have 2 touch points over here. You're touching a candle here and a here, so it is a valid line. It could have been drawn through here as well for the break, but catching this break right here coming to the downside. NASDAQ breaking below, support, which was previous resistance. Yesterday, we did the same thing. Bulls took control, pushed this candle up. The news and all come back out. The bears come back in, took control, seen follow through to the downside. Remember, strong candle, follow through to the downside. Netflix been showing us some strength. We talked about this being resistance. Come right back in. This is now resistance. So what I'm looking for now, if this does pull back, that resistance level could possibly become a double top. What do we need for that to be a double top? Well, we would need to confirm the neckline. And in this case, we're going to say that would be your neckline right there. I'm going to take that line off. We will. I just don't want to mark the chart up. But just as a reminder, so if it doesn't work, everybody can be like, see, it didn't work, it didn't work, I told you so, I told you so. You don't know what you're doing. No, because not all patterns work. And we actually don't hear that kind of stuff much yet anyway. So we're going to leave this little dotted line here. We just don't want to mark the charts up too bad, but that would be your neckline right there. So to confirm this as a double top, we need to break this to the downside. We need to take that trend line out to the downside. It's been trading up here really tight. I would not really want to be looking to, I would go short onto it with the style that I trade, but right now it seems like it's still a little too strong to try to go short until it at least breaks that neckline, loosens up a little bit. NVIDIA, perfect bear flag. Even tight going into your resistance levels. See how the indecision candles right there on that 9. There were some big battles there. Nice bear flag to opened up, move down today to the downside. Textbook move there. I do want to point out that this MACD is changing character. So let's keep an eye on the NVIDIA's MACD on the daily. I also have been doing some research, and there's a lot of gamers who are talking smack about the new cards and saying that they're basically going to price themselves out of the market. because they have just gone up. They've more than doubled the price of these new cards, and there's a lot of tech guys that are very unhappy with that. There's a lot of smack being talked. Oxy tried to push up at open and then, pull back, but it did respond to Yellen talking this afternoon. Had a nice push up that provided some opportunities, and I pointed out some signals today in the live session. That's what's the cool thing about having these live sessions, is because I can point out all these signals live on my charts. Not only, it's a good possibility that you can take the trades, you're learning, and you're seeing what's happening and why it's happening, and learning signals that your price action signals, the things to look for these breakouts before they break out, so you can be waiting for the breakout. You can stalk them. That's basically how I look at it, as I'm here stalking these charts. So Oxy on the daily, breaking below the 50 there. We were, me and another member had talked about this, and we were watching this 50 very closely, looking for a push up off or a break below, a plan A or a plan B. Honestly, I hate to say it, but I kind of thought it was going to pull back. They've not been coming after Oxy the same since Mr. Buffett announced that he wasn't interested in taking over control. But I don't think that's true. I think he when he does, he'll be ready when he does, and I think he probably will eventually. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks that. Palantir, candles are getting really tight there. What do we say when we're getting real tight candles? And look, you got a big move to the downside. And you can see Palantir, man, look at this. Sell off, nice flag. Look flat, look at that wick, push right back up into your 9, rip down. Even down here, you can see a nice move down, and then you can see the candle pattern for the move up. Peloton coming down here to put in a possible double bottom. I don't, in this market, I think we have more downside. Watch this support level. Watch the bottom of your cup there, your little rounded bottom. Watch that support level and see if we can take that out to the downside. So this was the 1, 2, 3 pattern I had last night and wanted to talk about last night. So you had the 1, the 2, you had your high, your low, your lower high. So it would have been 1, 2, 3. Your neckline of the pattern right here would have been your buy point, and we broke that today. We actually had a 1, 2, 3 reversal on the SPY today, and that I pointed out. A lot of people are looking for all kinds of stuff and this and that. There's a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, and a lot of these guys are new traders coming on here. They've just read books and stuff. I'm just being honest. A lot of them, started trading with COVID. They're getting more, probably a little better at trading now. The ones that are still left, some of them have just disappeared. But, they're always trying to give advice. But, one of the best things you can do, one of the smartest things you can do, if you want to learn to trade and you want to learn technicals, learn simple price action waves, how the actual waves work. I'm not talking about Elliott wave, just the basics of price action, higher highs, higher lows, and what it means when they're changing to follow trends. And very simple. You don't need to know every candle pattern. Just very simple. How the candle anatomy works, how the candle body, the candle anatomy, and how it works, and understanding the battle that's going on inside that candle is this is huge. So you got Roblox here. We've broken below support. Previous support is now resistance. SPX this is the daily of the SPX, which is the S&P 500. You can see we broke below support. Yesterday we come right back up, tested our level, our resistance zone was a support zone. Now it's a resistance zone. Bulls were in charge. Bears come back, brought the market back down today, opened up to the downside. So we got that follow through. CRM, and like I say, I will openly admit that I was not sure. I really didn't think, I told the Discord this morning to stay open-minded about the market just in case, but I really didn't, it was really, I don't want to say I didn't think, but I was unsure, because so many days after this Fed meeting we have set up with a very nice setup, and we didn't get the follow through we were expecting. Salesforce still moving down. Salesforce had got some attention today, but you can see they brought the candle back down. So we had Salesforce on the radar for a while. At open, we pulled back, and you can see we pushed, but altogether, such a tight range there that would have chewed you up if you wasn't taking profits. Snow, still watching this for a possible double top here. To confirm this double top, we need to take out this support level. We still have some gap down here that needs to be filled as well. So not only will we be taking out support level, and that would confirm this double top, just working on filling this gap. We also got to take that 50 out as well. So remember, your moving averages are like moving targets. SoFi, so you can come down here, put in this little rounded bottom, trying to push up. SoFi daily, watch the support level down here. If we continue down, watch the support level. We're right on the edge of the Bollinger Bands. MACD's just now starting to roll, so I do think it has more downside. A strong candle to the downside, but we're outside of the Bollinger Bands. Wouldn't be surprised to see it push up a little bit to kind of get back in them Bollinger Bands before moving back down. SOXS broke out this cup and handle. Nice move. Very nice move, right into a previous resistance level. SOXS is a bearish ETF for the semis. Semis go down, that goes up. The diamond actually performed better today at times than the SPY, but you can see same setup with the candles that we've been talking about. SPY weekly chart breaking below here, moving down. Strong candle, same bear flag breaking out of. In this case, we were watching this trend, took the trend line out. But if you look, you go back, you can draw your top line right there. You got your three candles, your flag. SPY below support, or below previous support, which is now resistance. Our trend chart, all three trends, long term, medium term, short term, bearish. Remember, that's the daily. We switched that from the, I still have the monthly chart, don't get me wrong, but I put the daily chart on here just trying to keep track of where we're shorter term traders. So we're in every day taking profits every day. We're not trying to sit into anything for a week or even days at a time. We're just trying to get the hot stocks while they're hot, while liquidity's pouring into them. Not really so interested into them when the liquidity's not pouring into them. You can see XLK, three candle bear flag there. You can see some indecision going on there, but the same thing with yesterday's candle. Same setup. Tesla, we have broken back below moving averages here on the weekly chart. See where we close tomorrow. You can see Tesla here, a bounce at this resistance level that we've been watching. This previous range, I've mentioned this in daily levels videos. Mentioned it here in these videos. Tesla, big pullback. You can see the low push back up, come right back down for a lower low. Twitter's just being Twitter with that court case. So Uber here, remember we had this cup and handle, inverted cup and handle breakout. We pushed up, put in a reversal signal there. You see your pin bar, and now pulling back. If we take this out, this can count as a double top. It's not exactly textbook. So this can count as a double top. Like I say, it's not exactly textbook. We would want the more wick on this side. So this would protrude the box if we drew it. But it's fine. Yeah, it's in this market, this bearish market, it'll, it's good, close enough. Big pullback on UNG. This one, I had posted a chart on this morning. We were looking for a head and shoulders, and we got a very nice move out of that, nice breakout out of that. That was posted Twitter, Facebook, and the Discord. That chart was shared with everyone. Upstart breaking below. We had already broke below previous resistance support, which is now previous support, which is now resistance, and now we're moving down off those candles. Upstart 15-minute chart, UVXY. This is trying to break out, but like I said in the beginning of the video, the VIX is struggling. Wells Fargo, big chop. We did pull back, but big chop here today. That's when discipline is so needed. Same candle setup here on the XLF that we've been talking about. ExxonMobil, we took this trend line out to the downside, lost to 50. Back to AMC. Well, that concludes our video for tonight. Hope everybody is green tomorrow. Use discipline. Be patient. It's Friday. Let's get in the market and make some money. I'll see you in the trading room.